On previous episodes of the show, we've covered some of German director Wim Wenders' earlier movies, including Paris, Texas, Wings of Desire, and Until the End of the World, which were all shot in a row between 1984 and 1991. An extremely versatile filmmaker, Wenders is known for often using brilliant landscapes in his films, oftentimes either in ancient European cities or the American West, and thematically focusing on subjects like time, memory, and nostalgia. Tonight, we're talking about Wim Wenders' latest film, Perfect Days, released in 2023, directed by Wenders and co-written and co-produced with Takuma Takasaki. Takasaki, interestingly enough, doesn't come out of the film industry, but has worked for the majority of his career in advertising. Takasaki was originally hired by Kōji Yakusho, the founder of the Tokyo Toilet Project, whose original idea was to create public toilets that anyone would feel comfortable using.
One of the world's most livable cities, Tokyo, where cleanliness, order, and hospitality have reigned supreme, evolving ever cleaner, more hygienic, and more livable. But one aspect of public life was left behind: the public toilets.
汚されるし、汚れてしまうイメージが。ちょっと危ないような。
その場所になんかすごいマイナスのダメージを与えるものっていう感じが強かったので、トイレがあることで逆にその場所にプラスのイメージを与える、そういうトイレができたらいいなと思ったんですね。
A unique project to redesign the public toilets of Tokyo.
After brainstorming ideas for an ad campaign for these toilets, Yakusho and Takasaki came up with the idea of basing it around a public toilet cleaner and the altruism that it takes to be dedicated to cleaning the public toilets. Yakusho wanted a big international team put together to really showcase the toilets, so he sent out invitations to creatives and artists across the world to come look at them. Wim Wenders got involved after traveling to Tokyo to see the 17 public restrooms designed by international architects, deciding to do a feature film rather than the original idea of several short films, and becoming impressed at how well residents of Tokyo take care of their city.
That comeback out of the lockdown was like there was no tomorrow. Cities were ruined afterwards. Parks were ruined. People had lost all sense of decency. I mean, public behavior. The parks where I live in Berlin were all garbage heaps. It seemed the big victim, at least in my part of the world, of the pandemic was the sense of the common good. In Japan, I saw the opposite. It was really endearing to see how respectful they treated their public places and also these toilets. And that's when I thought, as much as I like these toilets and these architects, there is something bigger to do here. And as these people had invited me to be inspired, I told them the truth, and I thought I was probably talking myself out of a good job. And I said, I don't think I'm the man to do these short documentaries on the architects and their creations. I sense there is something much more important here after the pandemic, and that there is something to be done right now in Japan about something that the world could learn from.
Right after the pandemic, at a time when Wenders thought people would perhaps start being kinder and more careful with each other and the world around them, he was horrified to realize it's the opposite. And after the pandemic, everyone was being much more reckless, which is why he became so much more impressed with how that wasn't the case in Tokyo. Perfect Days stars Kōji Yakusho as Hirayama, a toilet cleaner with Tokyo Toilets, who doesn't talk much and lives a very solitary existence. The film is in fact largely without dialogue, except when Hirayama must interact with other characters. Some of those characters, like his assistant Takashi, played by Tokyo Emoto, are extremely chatty and won't even stop to see if Hirayama is going to reply. There's definitely a generational gap between Hirayama and the characters most insistent on talking, such as Takashi, Takashi's girlfriend Aya, and his niece Nico.
ずっと行ったら海？
うん。海だ。
行く？
今度ね。
今度っていつ？
今度は今度。
Hirayama's apartment is small and compact, a two-story modest house, an incredibly minimalist space which stands out in direct contrast to the Tokyo skyline, including the Skytree, the tallest tower in Japan or really anywhere, which we see constantly as Hirayama drives and bikes to and from work. Hirayama has a simple and repetitive routine, waking up, getting a soda, driving to work, cleaning toilets during the day, then at night or on his days off, going home, watering the plants he's raising in his apartments. These are tree saplings that he often finds in parks or near where he's working that he nurses to health. The biking to the baths, eating at his favorite ramen place, or sometimes visiting his favorite bar. He also collects novels that he buys at the bookstore, especially from Patricia Highsmith, William Faulkner, and Aya Koda. Highsmith is a favorite of Wim Wenders, who adapted Ripley's Game into The American Friend, starring Bruno Ganz and Dennis Hopper in 1974. In this movie, he uses The Terrapin, a short story about a boy named Victor who is emotionally abused by his failed children's book illustrator mother, who gets attached to a terrapin that's heading for a turtle soup, and then butchers his mother after swearing he heard the terrapin scream while getting boiled alive. Nico says that's what she's going to end up doing to her mother if left alone once she's run away. And cassette tapes that he listens to each day on his way to work. These are classic rock tapes from the 60s to the 80s. We get a selection of what Hirayama likes listening to: Patti Smith, Lou Reed, The Kinks, Nina Simone, Van Morrison. Takasaki said, "I believe the divisions between people will continue to widen. Generational gaps and lifestyle differences aside, physical relationships are likely to grow more ambiguous. When that happens, culture may be a big factor in bringing people together again. Films, music, books, and art have the power to do that. When people are impressed by the same thing, they have a basis on which to connect with each other." Multiple times throughout this film, shared cultural references do exactly that. Both Hirayama's niece Nico and Aya are drawn to the cassette tapes and feel something from listening to them as a way to connect. And a woman who Hirayama likes at his favorite bar sings House of the Rising Sun to a restaurant full of middle-aged customers. Takashi drags Hirayama to a record store and tries to get him to sell the tapes, but they're worth more than mere commerce. Hirayama has a fascination for trees, photographing them, watching them, growing them, connecting to nature, even if it's through the lens of a camera he carries around. Wenders is very inspired by the films of Yasujiro Ozu, whose films like Tokyo Story and An Autumn Afternoon are regarded as classics, with Tokyo Story even being voted as the third greatest film ever by BFI's Sight and Sound poll in 2012. Ozu's films were often about the relationship and conflict between generations, told through stories involving family and marriage. In 1985, Wenders actually had gone to Tokyo to make his documentary, Tokyo Ga, which he called a diary on film about his reflections on Ozu, as well as interviews with actors and the cinematographer Yuharu, who worked on Ozu's films. As we learn more about Hirayama throughout the whole film, we can deduce that this isn't the life he was born into. His sister, who we meet towards the end, is a rich, successful, upper-class person who's horrified that Hirayama cleans toilets for a living. She tells Hirayama that his father is losing his memory, assumably from dementia or Alzheimer's, and asks him to come visit one more time. We also get to see Hirayama's dreams each night, which are black and white, expressionistic, and seem to show us part of his day.
本当にトイレ掃除してんの?
Before
All right. Yeah. Here we are.
I don't know what happened. I had everyone queued up to introduce.
Yeah. Hey, everybody. Marta's back. Hey, Marta. It's been a while.
Hey guys, it's nice to be back.
It's good to have you.
We'll do it live to heart, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. Well,
they're gonna do it live.
The ghost of Bill O'Reilly. Oh wait, he's still alive, isn't he?
Well, to have such an elegant and informative intro and have it just kind of crap out by the plugs, I guess that's fine.
It was a really good intro, by the way. Like, wow.
It just couldn't handle 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10.
No, the episode 5 out of 10, but the intro 10 out of 10. I can see why they have their own audience on YouTube and whatnot, right? But anyway, all you missed is we do a lot of stuff, and you can follow us in all the things. That's it. And Marta's back. Hey, Marta. Rewind and Revive is the quote unquote new thing. Not that new at this point, but
no, it's been a year now.
Yeah.
I didn't even try to pronounce Marta's last name.
Did you say Marta McFly?
Well, no, I just said Marta, and then I said, aka Marta McFly, and then I had her last name on there, but I was like, last time, I just ended up like I really butchered it.
I feel like you did it well last time.
Yeah.
I usually remember all the ones that don't.
You keep a list.
Exactly.
And
It'll be a
I
long
guys
list.
looked it up by going, "Did I get it?" And then you were like, "Almost." And then I was like, "All right."
Probably good enough.
So this showed up, of course. Loyal devotees of the show will know that we did a full-on bracket situation for as a bit, because I like doing the most work and labor-intensive things possible for this show. And Perfect Days was on it, and this is something that I've thought about. Oh, this would be a cool one to cover for a long time. It's great to actually be doing it. What a quiet and contemplative movie, right? And I'm thinking about when this came out, because I was real late to it. Even though I love Wim Wenders, famously Until the End of the World, one of my favorite movies of all time. Wings of Desire, Paris, Texas. Love so much of his stuff, but I have not personally loved a lot of the stuff he's done in the past couple decades. It's fine, but it's not his best work, I think. But when I saw this, my expectations could not have been lower. I was like, oh yeah, I'll check this out. And I was like, oh wow, this is really cool, but it's so different. And the Ozu-ness of it all really comes through. Because there's a deep humanity to it, and it's so quiet.
Very
And
intimate.
It's very intimate, and it's crazy to me that it's the same. Think back to what the character, the lead actor plays in Tampopo. Very different. It's kind of like a career best for him in a way, for people
And
that
Cure.
aren't familiar. Yeah, and The Cure, which I just finally saw a few months ago, but so different from anything else that he's ever played. And I'm usually the one that seeks this kind of stuff out. So I came pretty late to it. Marta, how did you find out about Perfect Days originally?
Oh gosh, I don't remember. I've seen it 5 times now. So I must have been on that train when it initially came out. But I don't know how it got on my radar. I mean, it has all the sort of things that I would enjoy out of a film. So it's very Marta coded.
Absolutely. The initial pitch to me, and this was a perfect example of an unsuccessful pitch, was Wim Wenders made a movie about toilets.
Yeah.
I'm like, great, that sounds terrible, and I'm not going to watch that.
Yeah, but then you actually went and saw, you saw the.
You're like, oh.
And it's like,
yeah,
they weren't wrong. It was just not the way I would pitch the movie. They weren't
But I'm
wrong.
saying you went to Japan, you actually went and you saw.
I actually
toilet.
went and saw one of the toilets. Yeah, it was great.
Did you go inside?
I did. I peed. I didn't have to do the other thing. I did not get an autograph either.
And
I specifically
Wenders toilets.
Right, exactly. Tag Wim Wenders in the picture. But I specifically went to that one and took the picture because I wanted to send it to you, Marta. I was like, hey, check this out.
Yeah. Wait, which one was it again? It was the colorful one, right?
It was the colorful ones. Yeah, it was the one by the park. It's on the other side of the park. Because there's a lot of them, but we had our own agenda, right?
Wait, it was the colorful one, but not the one that you pulled the screen, right? It was the.
It's the one where you when you flick the switch, it turns opaque.
That's crazy. I remember seeing that the first time, and my jaw was just on the floor. I'm like, how are they doing this?
Yeah, it's crazy.
One of the things when I was researching that intro,
I'll pull that picture up.
That I didn't really know, because I knew about the toilets, because Conan showed us all the toilets and it was.
I think I did an after party, right? We just went check out all these crazy toilets.
And I think that was before I actually saw the movie, because I actually saw the movie in January, and it was I had meant to see it for a long time, and I finally did. But no, I was kind of interested in the fact that the guy that I said his name in the intro, but the guy that actually put together the Tokyo Toilet Project is the middle son of the the family that owns Uniqlo, which obviously if you go to any mall now, Uniqlo, nothing there fits, because it's all sculpted for slimmer Asian people. But no, it's kind of like H&M at this point. It's so ubiquitous, and the middle son of this multi-billionaire family at this point, because Uniqlo is such a big business everywhere as an H&M kind of thing. He was the one that pitched this project, and it's just interesting how different in my mind the billionaires, the public serviceness, I guess, or the public service ideas of I can't imagine an American billionaire putting a bunch of money into
it would never happen.
Yeah.
I mean, what's interesting though about
by the way, for sorry audio listeners, but I threw up a picture of me in front of some of the Tokyo toilets in question.
Those look kind of woke, Conan, to be honest.
and then you threw up us going, woo.
Yeah, exactly. Then it was like an unlimited, like recursive nightmare.
Well, you know
like
what's
Inception
interesting?
style.
I've noticed a few like airports kind of have like these individual like bathrooms now, stalls or whatever, and that's where like a lot of conservative activists are like, look at this, and it's like, really? It's not really that big of a deal.
They're mad about the toilets now. Oh my god! Of course they are. Why am I asking that question?
Look, it's gender neutral bathroom. Anyone could go in, and I'm like, yeah, that's kind of the
Well,
point.
even New York City, right? Because New York City has had this problem where and I
just want to piss on anything. But
well, no, but when I've gone with Conan and traveled around, and there's just nowhere to stop and like pee. There's like
nowhere.
You never find a public bathroom. So the one of the first things that Mondami like basically said is that he's going to put 1,200 like public toilets throughout the city, but still they're doing like the porta potty type kind of like rip them down type one. And not something beautiful like in Tokyo.
Well, because this is basically a public works project. They're little works of art, which
we do not do here.
We do not do there, but for
They
sure.
were done by architects, right? Like each one was an individual.
Like internationally, like each one is done by a different like internationally renowned architect.
Which and they each have their own distinct feel and look and are interesting. They're interesting in such a way that if you're not familiar, you're like, what is that? And they're like, oh snap, it's a toilet.
Yes.
You're like, oh, is that a shrine or like somebody's house? Oh no, it's a toilet. Okay, great. But like that's a perfect example of using mundane things and kind of elevating them to be beyond just the mediocre misery of every day, which of course this country is terrible at. We know about mediocre misery.
Because with all like the discussion about bathroom, whatever, it's like I'm like, I don't care who I take a whatever next to. I'm like, I just want complete and total privacy. I don't even want like them to see my feet or anything. Woo!
This is
what is happening?
Feeling very interstellar right now suddenly for some reason. I don't know why.
No, I'm.
But like, I want my bathroom to look bougie.
I know.
And
StreamYard keeps dicking around with stuff, and like, it's not my favorite thing. I keep forgetting to.
I'm trying to pull up the. I don't know why.
I know. I did the same thing. earlier.
I was trying to pull up the. There's a
let's
list.
keep doing that the full stream. I think that would be nice.
If you go onto Wikipedia and you type in the Tokyo toilet, there's actually a list of all the different
right. And there's like blogs of like people that have visited all of them, and it's pretty interesting. Like it's something where as mentioned, a different architect designed each one. They're in different locations. They have different features. Like one of them like glows in the dark. One of them has like can be like an exit, which is not. You wouldn't want that around here.
That's the one you want to have sex with someone in it, huh?
One kind of looks like an oversized sink. One has like kind of a mushroom kind of element to it. Like there's so many different. The one in the movie, the what it looks like it's like woods, like it's made out of cedar. There's that one. Like they have like this. So many different kinds. It's so inventive and so creative and interesting that I see where they're. Because remember, all this started with they're like, we want to make a movie about these toilets, and people are like, what?
Documentary, yeah.
And now it's like, no, we need these types of toilets. We need these types of like private individual like toilets and stuff. We need them.
Right, and each one has its own character, right?
Personality.
Like a maze, and so like each one like.
Right. Personality.
The one that you had was Yoyogi Fukumachi Park. And it's done by Shigeru Ban, and so he also did another one, or he also did another one that's blue and green walls to complement the surrounding trees, which is
right because the one I went to it's like yellow, red, and like purple, and it's and then the other one is like it's like blue and green, right?
The one that you showed us though, it looks different than it does in the movie. Like the location looks different. Am I wrong?
I mean, I was one of those things where like I had to kind of like truck it to even like get to them. So by the time I was like, oh, great, there they are. Saw the wonder. It's also kind of zoomed in, right? Because I wanted to get it because at the time they were occupied, so I wanted to get the opaqueness of it. Let's see if I can.
Yeah.
Let me. I don't know if I can. I don't want to go back into interstellar mode. I'm
afraid.
I could be totally wrong.
You on a toilet. I'm just saying we don't want to get banned.
Well, I almost felt bad that I didn't have to. I was like, oh, if there's any place to do it, that'd be.
That's the best time.
Right?
One of the could have done a TikTok and would have done numbers.
One of them that's like one of the more really like abstract ones of them that actually is in the movie. It's the one where you go. I think it's in the beginning. You go into that little corridor. There's the two trees outside of it. That one. The architect's name is like Wonderwall Inc. So it's like,
Oh, so Oasis.
yeah, because it looks like a little. I wonder if that.
Well, but it is something. So again, get back to the earlier statement. Like I think it, although it sounds absurd, and again, like the worst sales pitch ever to get me to watch a movie, but it makes sense that they would want to show these off because they are super cool. They're interesting. They managed to take something that nobody even wants to admit that they have to have around and make something really, really neat about it. And that's to be commended for sure. And then props to Wim Wenders, who's like, I can't make a documentary about this, but I will do something with this because I think that's
he's done some documentaries.
He has. He has. Yes, correct. I'm not going to talk trash. It's not my favorite stuff he's done, but they're cool.
He's like obviously like his mentor is obviously Herzog, so it makes a lot of sense that he went from doing narrative film to doing documentaries. I mean, he just doesn't have like the Herzog thing where it's like he voices over his own documentaries and it's as Herzog does, and Herzog has that thing where he like goes into like his he gets really dark with it a lot of times. And, like,
even if he's
talking about like, even if he's talking about like penguins wandering off into the distance, it's like
take that, Morgan Freeman.
But it's also like they were contemporaries as well, and like that's something where they both, you know, sort of like the two people left standing of the German New Wave, and there's a lot of history there. But it also makes sense when you feel like if you've narratively, you feel like you've said your big important works and whatnot, you know, even with the Road series, right? Until the End of the World was like the ultimate end to that as far as he was concerned. And you've done your masterwork like Wings of Desire. You would never want to make a sequel to Wings of the Desire, right? I'm not checking my comments.
Wings of Desire 2. It's Wings of Desire.
He actually did. It's not that great.
Yeah, I know.
I have it here somewhere actually.
I think it's
perfunctory.
But it was like the 90s by then, so it's like
it didn't do what it was supposed to do, right? But it makes sense that he would want to try to do something different, right? And a lot of that, you know, hasn't really popped for me personally, but like respect. I mean, it's Wim Wenders. By the way, this I'll finally show this way. There's the ones that go opaque when somebody's in them. So there you go.
Well, I think that is the same place. I mean, why would they move it? Like that wouldn't make
sense. Yeah. Well, it's definitely
every day they put it on wheels and they move it to a new spot.
Well, the Yoyogi Fukumaka Park is definitely there but it's on the other side of where it was. Like there's a whole story involved with me going to that because I was explaining to my bandmates what I was gonna do. I was like, you know what? Don't worry about it. I'll be back in 20 minutes. Because I'm going to say, like, hey, I'm going to go run over to go see some toilets, you know.
They'd be like, what?
Cinematic toilet.
But that's a huge park, and it gets a ton of foot traffic. And so it's like one of those things where, it makes sense. You'd have to have public toilets nearby, right? But I just love that, and at some point we're going to get to the movie, I swear. But I just love that.
Those toilets, though.
That you know, the idea of these things being these like small, mundane, everyday experiences. You know, what people want to talk about it. Some people really do. People don't. It's something they do every day. And you turn that.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Yeah.
Except for the Brady Bunch kids. Remember, there was not a toilet in that house.
Like hopping onto like exactly what you're saying, right? Like I was kind of blown away by the like the intro video they did for their thing, which I put a little bit of in the intro, where it's like, well, we've designed the infrastructure in Tokyo to be very cool. The one thing that we haven't really touched on or like changed at all or like, you know, expanded on to make it useful and interesting is these public toilets, because people kind of find them gross, and it's like it's such a clean, I think, and like a very clean and a very conscious culture, and it's like
absolutely
people don't necessarily want to think about that.
Right. And so what they done previously was like hide them away, basically. Hide them away, make them as innocuous as possible. And, you know, it was a problem that they, quote unquote, had not solved. But, you know, Wim Wenders taking, you know, this very mundane exercise. And like, what's more mundane of a job than cleaning toilets, right?
Don't I know it?
and but then also finding real Ozu-like feel and heart to like the simple beauty of, you know, your mindset can make an arduous task a pleasant one, or a pleasant task an arduous one, depending on like how you view the world. So to have this character that's so often serene and just really so comfortable in who he is and what he's doing and why he's doing it. As mentioned in the intro, right? Oftentimes spoken to, rarely says that much, frankly. But not in a Chauncey Gardner and Bean there way. Just like, he just what he says things when he needs to say things. And he isn't like a tabula rosa. He doesn't have he feels things. He has an interiority, a vast interiority. But we see it through his routine. We see him through, like you say, taking pictures of like the trees and then on film, getting them developed, and then like as he goes through them, like literally ripping the ones he's like that not even aren't good, but aren't good enough for him to go in his box, and he like shreds the picture and throws it away, and that's like part of his routine. That's what he does in off time, and they're all great. His Instagram would be fire. You know it would be.
Yeah.
It would be like
once he
and he would also have like 5 million followers and follows like 2 people, right?
Yes,
and one of them's his niece.
Photo editing skills and like montages of like, here's all the toilets I cleaned for the day. Like,
yeah, it would be like
TikTok famous.
Insanely popular, right? But you get the sense of his character based on his actions, which is something that I'm always a fan of, and to have it, I didn't expect it to be so serene. Is probably the best way I can articulate this.
I wanted to read this though. So
cool.
This is the backstory. It's a little bit long, but this is the backstory that Wim Wenders gave to Kōji Yakusho, who played Hirayama. So he says, I really didn't want to give this away. I gave this to Kōji Yakusho. So he could read it, so he would know. But other than that, I figured people would have to put it together on their own. I'll give you this much. He was a businessman. He was rich. He was unhappy, and he was drinking a lot, which he still kind of is in this movie. And his life was going down the drain. One morning, he wakes up in this crummy hotel room. He doesn't even know how he got there. He doesn't even know if he had sex or whatever happened. He thinks his life is shit. He doesn't like it. He actually plays with the idea of ending it. Then miraculously, early in the morning, there's this ray of sunlight appearing on this wall in front of him. It falls to a little tree in front of the window. There's this play of leaves and sunlight and shadows moving. He looks at it and stares, and he starts crying because he's never seen anything so beautiful. He probably has seen it, but he hasn't noticed. Then he realizes that that's the answer to his existential crisis, to become somebody who notices that. He gives up his expensive car, his business job, and becomes a gardener. Chauncey, I guess, but the guardian of all these little toilets because they're all in little parks. Somehow they found Hirayama as the ideal character to take care of them. That was the backstory. I did give it away against my will.
But I would totally watch that movie too. I mean, that sounds badass, and obviously he gets there, right?
Which you could feel that radiating off him.
But you don't need it. Yeah, it's cool that you don't like. You can. It's inferred, not explained.
When the sister, kind of at the end, kind of confronts him a little bit and goes, "Are you really cleaning toilets?" You can feel that that's not where he came, like at all. That's not where he came from. And she's looking down at him. But it makes a lot more sense if she's looking down at him, like not because this is the thing that my brother was born into and that he does well or something. It's like, in my mind, I know you could be like so much more, which obviously he's making the most out of his existence in this other way, but she's not going to see that. So it's like, is that really what you've chosen to do with your life? And it's like, he's like, yeah.
I like his answers as well. Like when she asks him, like, is it true you're cleaning toilets? And he says yes, but he has like the warmest smile on his face.
Yeah. Almost mischievous and like a very mischievous, like, yeah, that's what I'm doing. Like,
what are you doing?
Well, it's like a quiet resilience, right? Because like he's not ashamed of it. He's like, his life is like so much better than it was in this, previous life that we don't see on screen, where he was, dealing with like the rat race, salaryman stuff, like whatever it was he was up to. Doesn't matter. Like he's a fully actualized human being is deeply happy with who he is and content in a way that most of us never achieve.
Which I think a movie that's not made in a space, that's not made in Japan with everybody kind of working together collaboratively in Japan, probably would have to tell you this is where this guy this is the story behind him, and it's like that would ruin the movie completely. Know that
would be a lesser movie. That'd be the American remake, by the way.
Yeah,
which would be a streaming series on Paramount Plus. Thank you.
He's like I'm giving up. He's giving up the Corvette. He's like throwing the keys away. He's like,
it would be what's like a Taylor Sheridan's Perfect Days.
Toilet Man. He's just like Land Man, but he's Toilet Man.
Toilet Man. Fighter of the Bathman. Ah.
You get Sam Elliott to play the role, right? Anyway,
Listen, brother. I was so unhappy when I.
All right, now that we've completely ruined this.
We ruined the sentimental sweet movie. How dare you two?
His name is,
We didn't do anything. You guys did.
His name is still Hirayama.
Oh yeah, even though he's not Japanese. Yeah, sure.
My name's Hirayama.
To bring us back, I will piggyback off of
Thank
what
you.
Forrest was
Whatever
saying.
that was.
Just because I'm so curious, where were you reading that? Was it on Wiki, the explanation of the biography? Because I'm wondering if it came from the same thing that I watched.
It's from a Q&A that he gave with
oh, okay. So he must have changed it, because on the Criterion he like expands on it even further, which I found really interesting.
This was like an Instagram post, so I'm sure it's just like a partial quote of
yeah. The one thing that stuck with me is that he says that Hirayama, and it's just like a perfect way to describe it. It's so simple. He's like, he gives himself up to a life of service. And the whole concept behind it is he starts each day new, right? Like each day is just, like he says, now is now, right? Like you wipe it off the slate when you wake up in the morning. All of the problems from the other day are gone. And that's just it. Which
I read this interview with it was with Takuma Takasaki, the guy that produced it and co-wrote it, and his comment was that even it's a paying job, but you still have to live a life of pretty much public service to dedicate yourself to cleaning these bathrooms. And I noticed that when they do the marketing for it, even when it's not the Wim Wenders stuff, when it's like, they're just their videos showing the toilets and stuff for their opening, they highlight the Tokyo toilet, which they wear the exact this is the jumpsuit is the jump from the movie and everything, and they highlight the public serviceness of someone who cleans these toilets, because I feel like in Japan it's a very respect-based culture, and it's but a lot of times respect goes upwards, and in this case I think they're trying to show respect going kind of downwards, where it's like we're showing that we have respect for the people that clean these toilets.
Which in the movie there's some quiet elements that kind of up in that a little bit, like when he finds the kid and then the mom, doesn't even thank him, immediately sanitizes his hands and stuff. It's sort of one of those, and there is that as well. It's much.
But I think that's supposed to make people feel a little bit of shame for overlooking people.
Absolutely. It's done to great narrative effect, because again, we're centered around the one character, and then. This character is clearly, very self-involved, lost their kid, by the way, no big deal, and is kind of, not acting in a very empathetic manner towards this man that literally found her child for him.
I don't know, growing up in the 90s or whatever, there was the whole stranger danger thing where it's every parents were
John Walsh. I think,
but it's there's a fear that someone is going to come into the bathroom and take your kid.
Sure.
And I think,
well, don't be leaving your kids alone to begin with. The other day, there was a situation where this old man at the Target was trying to coerce 8-year-old girls for hundreds of dollars to join the bathroom with him, and I'm like, parents, what are you doing?
All right, so now it's a Harmony Korine movie. So
yes, exactly.
You guys want to go over the plot? I'll start.
Sure. Yeah, sounds good.
Hirayama works as a public toilet cleaner for the Tokyo Toilet Project in Tokyo's upscale Shibuya district. Across town from modest home. Shibuya.
Sorry, to be that guy. Yeah. Guy who went to Japan won't shut the fuck up.
Listen, all right. I'm doing this off the top, so I'm going to end up murdering stuff. East of the Sumida River.
Not the only one.
He repeats his structured, repetitive routine each day. Starting at dawn, his pride in his work is apparent by its thoroughness and precision. He dedicates his free time to his passion for music cassettes, which he listens to in his van to and from work, and his books, Faulkner, Coda, Highsmith, which he reads every night before going to sleep. His dreams are shown in flickery, impressionistic, black and white sequences at the end of every day.
I like that whole black and white thing.
Yeah. It's so cool because it immediately distinguishes the fact that you're experiencing things in real time versus that's something else, but it doesn't do the the big wavy lines or anything.
You're going to dream. Right? What is this? Dark Shadows?
Right.
It kind of shows you. I mean, that is the way you dream. Not the expressionistic. I think it's not impressionistic, but expressionistic black and white sequences is not necessarily how you dream, but the culmination of images from the day or from your day, which has always made me think about the fact that we're so bombarded by images all the time in like this in the world that we live in now, and it's like I wonder how that affects psychology even that way, because you're constantly intaking images, and I mean you always have been, right? Like that's how eyes work, but like now it's
but
like,
there's a distinct push
And the
towards social
brain,
media.
Yeah.
Social media and
Well, not
therefore
even just-
online
not even just social
interactions.
media, like shirts, right? Like you wear a shirt and people's shirt has a logo. It's meant to evoke something. It's meant so that subconsciously you'll go, oh, I like that shirt. Maybe I'll buy it from that company. And then you recognize what company, like billboards on the side of the road, logos on everything, like everything you buy, it comes with a logo. You're basically being advertised to. And it's always been like, you're intaking all of that.
Yeah, or if you're like dreaming or like having like a memory, the memory is not completely accurate. And I remember that one episode on Legion where Sid's like looking at stuff and she's like, the curtains are different here, or like something's different. Like sometimes when you dream, like sometimes when you almost like recreate like in a dream an event that happened in real life or whatever, or like your subconscious is just, that's how your subconscious is kind of like, figuring something out. It could be very different from the reality.
Right, and this is certainly Wenders something he has messed with a lot.
Yeah.
He messed with it a lot
Wow,
in previous works. But what I'm thinking about specifically, and Until the End of the World, they have like it wasn't even called virtual reality necessarily then, but the thing that Claire gets addicted to, which is like it's filmed differently, it looks differently, it has a very different feel to it. That you're not experiencing the reality of the character, so on and so on. But it's done so in a way that's not beating you over the head with it, but it's very clear and explicit what's happening, and therefore the dream symbolism and all the scenes that you see with them can be taken in a different way. And I think it's very German new way of him, but it's always very much been a Wim Wenders thing. We would be not doing our jobs if we didn't talk about how important the music is.
Yes.
Yeah.
And the choice of using cassettes is deeply hilarious too, because of all the analog mediums,
for those who
it's
don't know, cassettes were this.
Well, apparently in this movie, several of the characters of the younger generation don't really. I mean, they're like, "Oh, this is a cassette. How does it?"
I feel like millennials were the last generation that actually owned like cassettes and Walkmans, because we've been rewatching the I Love series from VH1 on my Twitch streams, and it's like, wow, I remember having this cassette and that cassette and that cassette, and I'm like, oh my god!
But it's
not that old.
The same thing that happened with vinyls. I mean, vinyls are
and Gen Z's bringing them back. For
definitely.
They show it like the each tape that he has in his collection, because his collection is just I listen to it. He doesn't have a Walkman. His phone's like a flip phone. Like he doesn't have.
He's listening to it in the van when he's going from point A, point B, and it's part of that
utilitarian versus like when he walks into the cassette the record store and they're like, oh, they're very popular right now because people are just kind of using them as these these status symbols almost, right? Like, so it's like
it's somehow cool, which is hilarious to me. But I mean, you see so many people selling cassettes at merch tables now. By the way, it's a very real thing. But it's interesting that that's the medium that's utilized. But I think we need to talk about how important. And Wim Wenders is definitely an artist that has utilized music very effectively. Nick Cave and the Bad Seeds for one of them. Just think about the Paris, Texas soundtrack, the Rycooder stuff. Marta, can you speak a little bit to the usage of music? Which, by the way, I want to hear someone's opinion when I kick the subject of music to somebody else.
That's a big deal.
It is a
I mean, the music's incredible here. That's obvious. But the most important thing about it is I think that because Hirayama speaks so little, the music speaks for him. Like if you pay attention to when these needle drops are happening, it's always to do with what's going on with him, or even just like the day that he's about to experience himself. So I think that's like the biggest takeaway of these specific songs.
It's much like the dream sequences. Like he's sitting in the van, and a lot of times he's processing the feel. Like in his dreams, he's obviously processing the images, and in his van, he's processing the feelings of everything he's going through. Right. He has these amazingly emotive moments, because throughout the movie, he emotes, but like it's very private. He's very contained, and then in these moments in the van when he's listening to music, he's like,
well, because he's so precise in his work and his life. in a way that Takashi absolutely is not. Like he's like the polar opposite. Right? He's like, deeply imprecise, chatterboxing
10 out of
nonstop.
I like when
rating things all the time. Yeah.
I like when he's in the van with his girlfriend and he's like 10 out of 10. She's like, will you stop saying that?
10 out of 10.
But I do want to before we move on, because again, this is a hard one to go through a plot summary of, because like plot wise there really isn't that much, and it's going to jump kind of around a lot.
We got to fill the gaps.
This time I noticed the books.
Yeah.
You mentioned Faulkner, Coda, Highsmith, like the interactions with like the book lady, the booksmith, sure, the book.
The librarian, Marion,
librarian, sure, like the chick at the bookstore, right? Like, and has these interactions like, oh, that author's so great, this and this, and he's just sort of like, oh, okay, like he's just like not like interacting at all, but she just.
Well, when she's talking about Patty Highsmith, he's buying the book that his he knows he's not getting that shit back. So he's buying the Patricia Highsmith book that his niece took. I wanted to read through the songs from the soundtrack since we're talking about music.
Okay, yeah, sure. Yeah, we can get back to
that. Obviously, House of the Rising Sun by the Animals, Pale Blue Eyes by Velvet Underground, one of my favorite Velvet Underground songs.
Yeah, it's so good. Yeah.
Sitting on the Dock of the Bay by Otis Redding, Redondo Beach, Patti Smith, Walking Through the Sleepy City, Rolling Stones, Perfect Day, Lou Reed, great sequence. Io Sakana, I don't know that one. That's like one of the only Japanese songs that I think that's on there. Sunny Afternoon by the Kinks, another one of my favorite songs. Then there's the Japanese version of House of the Rising Sun, Brown Eyed Girl, and then finally Feeling Good, Nina Simone.
Don't Google Van Morrison plus politics, by the way.
Well,
as I said, Van Morrison.
Morrison, exactly. Right.
Sorry, go on.
Oh, I was gonna say it, all banger choices. Like, most movies would be lucky to have one or two songs that well placed in a movie, and this is like throughout the whole thing. So, go ahead, Marta.
Oh, I was just gonna say, same Criterion release, extra with Kōji Yakusho. It turns out that these were his selects. I'm pretty certain.
Really?
And the interesting thing is, he was picking it at the time. I'm sure it was collaborative, and he looked at vendors and he was like, "Well, is this realistic that I would be listening to all of this music in Japan?" And vendors was like, "Well, you are listening to this music. You are of his generation. Right. So yes, it is accurate. You are this older man that grew up in, I don't know, the 70s, 60s, 70s. So this music makes sense that you would be listening to it." So
I was watching the Tokyo God documentary that Wenders did, and there's this entire sequence where they're in he's in Tokyo, it's going around, and there's this park that everybody's dressed like they're from the 50s in America, and they're all listening to 50s music, and they're all in American clothes and like dancing around, and it feels like, because that was 1985 and these are like 20-year-old kids or something, it's probably younger than Hirayama was, but it's still, it's like it shows there's this, because now we have entire conferences where people dress up as Japanese anime characters, manga characters. So it's like there is
and you're in the friend group that likes those things and you just don't get it. That was me.
But it goes both ways too. Like I said, I'm fond of mentioning in Osaka when we played last year. Like they have like just like there's a Chinatown, there's an America Town, where it's like 50s diners and stuff, and everyone. But it's surreal because it's a very Japanese. Very Japanese take on that. I never should read the comments by mid-sentence ever at any time, never.
And also too, like,
How
they
long
have
have I
certain
doing this show?
They have certain artists that they're like such like big, like like I always think about, like, the Jersey Boys movie was a flop here, but it was a hit in Japan.
Right, sure. Yeah.
Or like the Carpenters were so big that it made Karen Carpenter have the lead sister shirt because they mispronounced lead singer or whatever. So like there's certain like American things.
Or their favorite villain, Marty Supreme.
Pivoting a little bit, I love that Yakusho had so much take on the music being utilized, because it's all very perfect. Also very much down Wim Wenders' sort of personality and not outside of his comfort zone at all. But think about the fact that, so for me, like, I first saw him in Tampopo, right? But he's also, in Cure, which I just saw, but he's in 13 Assassins.
Yep.
You know, he's in like all these like real like these tough guy Miike movies which again the only one we've done is the most insane one ever with Ian Miller for people that
which one
are new to the show.
Most insane feels like
well, he's pretty. It was a long time ago. What's the name? It's the one. There's some evocative scenes. No, not Ichi. Ichi's downright normal. No. Audition's downright normal by comparison.
Visitor Q.
It was you know what? It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. I'm fully off track of what I was saying at this point. But
sorry.
No, I'm the one that brought it up. It's fine. Tough guy stuff is what I'm getting at, right? So he's like kind of known for being like, you know, this sort of like leading man, sort of very, very austere, but like in that male ideal sort of way. So to have this be such a quiet Zen-like role, and to have like the music again, and I think it's an important point too. It was mentioned earlier that it's a lot of times the music is a reflection of what's going on in his head. You don't hear him speak about it, but you hear him interact with it based on like the music selections that he has. And like, it's one of those things when you're first like, well, why is he listening to House of the Rising Sun? That's weird. And then you see that amazing scene, which I'm sure we'll get to in the plot, where, you know, the girl he has a crush on that runs the bar, like sings this incredible version of it, which that's a song that like, I'm like, oh Christ, you're covering this.
I love that it's like and I don't remember who they said translated it. Like it is translated by somebody famous, but the lyrics
it's like its own story.
Or like you put it into like Google Translate, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like so you translate it into Japanese and into English and back to or whatever into Japanese and then back into English, and it's like so it's like there's a like I don't know, it's just like the lyrics are like just different enough to make it fascinating.
Yeah.
Oh, it's absolutely fascinating because it's sort of, you know, in the original House of the Rising Sun, you know, it was supposed to be like, you know, a bed and breakfast in New Orleans, right? That's like decorated like a brothel, but like it's not. Again, it's not one for one. It's in this weird, like in a way, the Make Way for Tomorrow and Tokyo Story are the same story, but are they? Because they're very different, and sometimes the culture, the translation of that can be fascinating.
Mm-hmm.
House of the Rising Sun, everybody.
There's also
oh God, the first Suicide Squad movie almost ruined the song for me because it was like the first needle drop, and I was like, oh my
Kristina,
God, this has nothing to do with the song.
There's also like it's kind of dark, but there's like the fact that I don't know how much of this kind of played into it, but there's a big movement during like the 70s, especially to get the American troops out of Japan that, you know, they treated like Japanese women like, I mean, a lot of them have been raped, especially, but like treated them as kind of prostitutes a lot of the time, even if they weren't. Like they were very brutal to them, and I do wonder the lyrics to House of the Rising Sun, where it's about kind of a brothel, and they've changed it up to make it so that it's not just like, you know, a bed, like it is a brothel in this version of it. Like I wonder if that had to do with that movement where it's like, you know, they wanted the troops out, they wanted to end you know, the use of nukes in any capacity. Like there was this big kind of movement in the 70s towards a lot of those things.
Yeah, well, I mean, and that's, you know, there's stuff like that all throughout historical Japanese movies as well. I mean, like you I think about Akira, right? Akira, there's like, you know, the great like scene where these like, oh, they're taking him out and they're at the bar, and it's sort of like you can tell like at a glance, you're like, oh, okay, this is 1952, all right. You know, this is like
also it's Japan kind of gaining their confidence back, because if you look at something even like Godzilla, where it's clearly a take on the trauma they had been through, and then it comes to America and they cut all of those parts out to not offend American audiences, and it's just like, oh, giant monster. Like there's nothing to do with, you know, dropping an atom bomb, and that's why Godzilla appears and stuff. So it's like as Japan kind of regains their confidence, which they have in the last few decades, it's like a different kind of thing where they're able to be more assertive about these things, where in the past it's like, you know, they're kind of still in this mode of being traumatized.
All right, so far we got that he listens to music on cassettes and he reads books. That's what we got. That's what we're like.
Well,
the first 5 minutes of the movie.
He doesn't just do that. He eats a sandwich every day in the shade under trees in the grounds of a shrine, and takes film photos of their branches and leaves in the komaribe sunlight filtered by the leaves.
In the bathhouse.
Yeah, that's right.
And goes to the bath. Dude, I fucking felt so bad for him when he goes to the bathhouse. He really gets himself showered. He's really clean.
Yeah,
and then he goes outside and immediately starts raining.
Yeah, like within seconds. Yeah.
Not even that bothers him.
Yeah, he's totally unfazed, completely unfazed. I love.
It's like taking another shower, I guess. But it's like...
Well, I love that there is of course, there's a Japanese word for the sunlight filter by the leaves. Great.
Yeah.
You know that's a very Japanese thing to have a word for, but it's like that's like this specific focus that he does on this film camera. This isn't even a digital camera we're talking about.
Film.
Kids, there used to be this thing called film.
It's very expensive now.
He gets them developed as part of his routine, you know, and then like, what does he do? Well, he takes them back to his place, and he like looks through them, and like the good ones he keeps, and then the other ones he like, again rips them in half, and they're gone for forever immediately, which is just so.
I also
indecisive. Yeah.
I also like that his niece Nico, which I wonder if that has to be a Velvet Underground reference, right?
Could be. I didn't think of that.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I can't believe I didn't think of that.
You gotta tie the music, you know, to the actual like main characters and stories and stuff.
But so his niece, first they take a drink and they drink exactly the same way, and then she takes out the same camera that he got her, and it's like
and like you, and then it's like, you got this for me. And it was like, oh yeah. And it was like, you don't remember, do you?
he's like, I love the idea of being like a silent man, like in that you don't have to really answer. She's like, you don't remember, do you? Like,
yeah, no, she's having the conversation all on her own and works it all out herself, right? But it's clear that like she thinks he's cool. Right. And that's pretty clear from the beginning. And she thinks her mom is not cool, as most children would, and wants to get away from her. And like, what is the most effective getaway but the go-to, like, you know, crazy Zen toilet cleaning uncle's place?
Yeah.
You know?
And that's like the classic thing, right? Like, it's like you have that uncle and you're like, well, obviously I'm going to run away to the person that's like, you know, it's like a completely different world, but they're still related to me. So they're obviously going to take care of me. But Hirayama's love of trees contrasts with the repeated appearance of the Tokyo sky tree during his drives and bike rides through the city. Still like the tallest active networking tower.
Yeah, it's a broadcasting observation tower. Yeah. It's one of those things you'll know when you see it. If you've seen the movie, you know what we're talking about. But it's like a primary television radio broadcast place for the whole Kanto region, and you know it's notable. There's cool lights on it at night.
There's a scene in Tokyo Ga where he meets up with Werner Herzog, who has a mustache at this point. He's going to Australia to film to film a movie in 1985, and he meets with him on top of the sky tower, and they're both complaining about Japan.
that sounds
typical.
Rad. I'll try to throw
Hirayama's young assistant Takashi is often late, loud, and not as thorough, to say understate it.
Just like this show.
Let
him up.
I'm pretty thorough. One day, except for when I try to pronounce things. One day, a young woman named Aya calls up Takashi at the toilet he's cleaning, so he hurries to finish. He tries to leave with Aya, but his motorbike will not start. He can't win. So he persuades Hirayama to let him use his van. I kept thinking of
that's such a bad idea. Immediately, like, don't do it, dude. Don't do it.
But I also kept thinking about No Other Choice.
Sure,
because he has the same.
By the way,
kind of,
there's the sky tree at night. It's pretty cool looking.
It is. But there's the same kind of line where the guy, he's about to kill the first guy, and he's like, "What? Can an unemployed man not find love?" And Takashi has a similar line where he's like, "Can a broke man not find love?"
Yeah. Well, and there's such a contrast. He's a chatterbox, always rating things. He's got everything is being rated.
So weird.
Doesn't seem to be interested in anyone actually responding to his constant torrent of talk. Not a bad person, but certainly not a detail-oriented person at all. Like, he's constantly like, he's like
cleaning on
scrolling
his
TikTok. Phone. Yeah, I know, exactly. And like cleaning with the other hand. It's like he's this ridiculous person, right?
But Hirayama, like, you could tell he likes him. He likes having him around, which is like a fascinating thing because he's always kind of creeping up behind corners, and he sees the kid with it's a little bit mentally challenged, I guess, playing with his ears, and you can tell that he has like this soft spot like almost like
Mhm.
you would for your own child or something.
Well, yeah,
right? Like
when he says like, well, he really likes my ears. I'm just attached to them.
Yeah.
and he's like,
It's adorable, you know.
he's like, I'm just an added
Yeah.
bonus, right? And the kid's like, yeah, and he's like, right, yeah, and he's
Yeah,
like,
So it's not like he's like, I mean, he's messy, but he's not evil or like, you know, it's like he's like clearly just not very
young.
good. He's young, doesn't really care about this job, cleaning toilets, which frankly, why would anyone, you know?
yeah.
I mean,
Tell me about it.
He even asked. I mean, he asked Hirayama in the truck. He's like, "You've even like made all your own equipment, like you."
Yeah.
But I asked if Takashi could stay with her. She works at a girls' bar. Found out what that is. It's like a nightclub where you basically pay money for a girl.
yeah, it's like a
Hostess, yeah.
It's a very common thing in Japan.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, which loneliness is obviously such a common theme in this.
Yeah.
Takashi
Here we
stayed
have
at-
Hooters.
Society. Oh God.
He complains
Built to
that
kill.
he complains that he's broke.
Peaks.
Yeah.
Unbeknownst to Hirayama, Takashi slips Hirayama's Patti Smith tape into Aya's purse. The first time, I don't know why I saw it, like because it happened so fast. I was like, did she take it? And then I realized it's him that puts it in there.
Mhm.
When Takashi discovers they are valuable, he urges. Oh, Takashi talks Hirayama to go into a shop to get some of his cassettes appraised. He drags him along to that too. Takashi discovers they're valuable. He urges Hirayama to sell, but Hirayama refuses, giving him some cash so he can take Aya out. He wants him to sell and then give him the cash, which is like,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Again, what a pal.
in that scene, as they purposely turn the camera out, you can see Wim Wenders in the record store.
He's in the record store.
Yeah.
I did not notice that at all until you guys mentioned it off mic.
When Hirayama runs out of fuel, he's forced to sell a cassette for fuel money. That's like one of the saddest scenes, I think, in the movie.
Mhm.
That's relatable.
Yeah.
And I like that they skip it too. Like he shows
Yeah.
the cassette, him holding the cassette, and the next thing you know, he's parked at home. Like I really like that sort of skip.
Yeah, because you don't need to get into the minutia.
Mhm.
Like you get the broad strokes of what it is and why it's a sacrifice for him, and so on. And
Yeah.
so
Exactly.
on. Just
Like I
just
don't
how-
want. Don't prolong the sadness. We got to move on. You know. I don't want.
And again, I feel like the whole thing is like Pulp Fiction style, like not necessarily in sequence for this plot, but like when she's like, "Oh, you know, is that on Spotify?" And she's like, "What store is that?"
Oh, yeah.
That's
was very
great.
cute.
Yeah, that's so good. It's adorably offline of him.
Mhm.
Hirayama commences a tic-tac-toe game with a stranger after finding a piece of paper left hidden in a stall. I love that part.
I love
The
that
game
too.
continues
Yeah.
over the course of the film. He exchanges furtive glances with a woman eating lunch one bench over, and then whoever wants to, like, Kristina, do you want to take it up from there?
Yeah. Saya catches up with Hirayama about. Oh my God! I can't. What the hell? Sorry, my cat's driving me nuts. To return his cassette, she asked to play it in his. He keeps meowing. She asked to play it in his van one last time, and then gives him a thank you kiss on the cheek, leaving him visibly startled.
I love
It's a
Aww.
very,
I love
very
it.
sweet scene.
There's a jump where he goes, and he's shocked in the van. His eyes
Yeah.
are up,
Yeah.
and then it
Yeah.
jumps to him in the bath, and he's still like this in the van.
Yeah. And again, it's like one of those almost like Charlie Chaplin style.
Yeah, there's something. I was thinking there's something very Harpo Mark. There's something very
Harpo
Harpo
Mark.
Mark.
Sure, that's
Yeah,
what-
where he's like.
it's great.
Yeah. And on his free day, Hirayama does his laundry, takes the film with his tree photos to be developed, cleans his flat, buys a new book, and dines at a restaurant where the proprietor shares gossip with him. Nico, his niece, showed up unannounced, having run away from his wealthy estranged sister Kyoko's home. Oh my God, this cat's driving me nuts.
I heard it that time.
I know. Hirayama lets Nico accompany him to work during the next 2 days. They photograph the trees in the park and ride bikes together. I liked that whole bonding.
That's a good sequence. Yeah,
It really
and
is.
it could be a little bit too cloying or a little bit too like overdone or whatever, but I think it's done just enough where you can see like why she would want to like hang out with him and would find an interest in these things.
Some of the greatest physical comedy in the whole movie. She starts to take his shirt off, and he dives
He's
down.
like,
the
"Ah!" And he,
stairs.
like, practically rolls down the stairway to get away. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's because again, we see him doing these things, and we see that okay, this is a repetition, this is a routine, this is like the things that are important to him. That he finds value and meaning in the repetition of these, what could be considered mundane activities. And then she's just kind of like learning about him while she's learning about the activities, and also kind of like trying to try them on to see if she likes them as well. And I think that that's all done in a way that, I don't know, you could have a really overdone kind of like hit you over head with a mallet explainer of that in a lesser movie that I think would be, you know, overbearing. But
something that I kind of went on like a little weird digression. Well, you know, me going a digression. Who would have guessed?
Yeah, who would have predicted that?
There's a bunch of Reddit threads on, because I was trying to figure this out. When he's drinking every day, he drinks his drink, right? And it looks like it's water, but it kind of like it doesn't really. So apparently it's lemon suchu, which is it's like a suchu highball is what he's drinking, and that's the thing that he's drinking later on when he has the canned version of the highballs, which I can't imagine tastes good.
Wait, when? You're not talking about the morning coffee from the vending machine?
Oh no. Every night when he goes to that.
Oh, every night. Yeah.
The guy, which obviously in Japan, like having a drink after work is, I mean, anywhere, but especially in Japan, it's like a social kind of thing that you can, you know. But every time the guy says for your hard work and drops the drink down, and I was like, I feel like
is it like a cup of water or something? Yeah, but it's not.
Yeah. So it's like a mild rice vodka, like a very mild.
I was gonna say, for people that are not familiar, you may know sake. Sochu is much more common in Japan. It's a similarly distilled beverage, right? It's usually sweet potatoes, like buckwheat, things along those lines. But it's considered a little more of a populist hard alcohol between the two. And I say that as a fan of sake. So Sochu's pretty good.
Yeah,
I mean, it's okay. But I didn't realize that. First time I saw it, I was like, hey, it's drinking water.
I've had Sochu before, I think, but I did work at a place with a sake bar, and like it was like at the time I wasn't 21, so they wouldn't let me go to like the regular bar exactly all the time, but they were like, all right, this is just sake. So sometimes I would be allowed to go to like the sake bar with friends.
Yeah, every venue that we played in Japan,
obviously,
like one of them had like sake, everyone else is all sochu. It was either it was like everywhere.
Yeah, at the very bougie hibachi steakhouse that everyone loves in town, that live it's like right there. They always, when they do like the thing and the volcano with the onions, they always want to squirt a bunch of sake into someone's mouth. Who's the willing participant, and it's always me. And they got to see how much I can like handle before I'm like, enough.
I think we need a movie about this restaurant. What's happening there?
Yeah,
it's called Tsukaya.
Okay, all right.
For a while, I mean, hibachi was like big for like, I feel like it's fallen off a little bit. I think COVID, I think a little bit.
Yeah, Benihana. That's Steve Aoki had first a record label and then a career.
Fucking Benihana.
That's anyway, whatever.
Speaking of COVID, that was what caused this film to happen. Kind of.
Oh, this one. Perfect Day is my
segues that I'm giving you guys. Hey.
Yeah. I was gonna say I was about to try to reset us. That's a much more eloquent reset.
No, but that was the whole thing. Vendors noticed how after COVID everything kind of went to shit globally, like the way people interacted with one another, the common good, if you will. Except for Japan, he says that when you go to Japan, it was still there is that sense of morality. And again, he keeps saying common good. And then that's how he found out about Tokyo toilets and et cetera, et cetera.
Well, and it's a culture of respect. So again, no wonder it feels foreign to us.
The list of directors that they had to see the Tokyo toilets is like, I was looking, it was like Scorsese, Tarantino for some reason. Look, there's toilets. But like they had
taking feet pucks in there, didn't he?
They had Spielberg, they had Wim Wenders, and it's like all of these like kind of famous directors kind of paid like homage to like these toilets, which is kind of fascinating.
Yeah, that is. Yeah, I mean, the whole thing was looked at. The project itself was like the dignity of shared space.
Yeah,
to keep that, which I like.
Which is very hard. I mean, it's the least dignified place in the world, right? Is the public bathroom.
Yeah, remind me.
That is true.
All right, so they photograph trees in the park and ride bikes together. Eventually, Keiko comes to pick up Nico in a chauffeured car. Talk about like a jump scare, right? It was like what? Like it's so different from everything we've seen before.
It's kind of a because when we first see Nico, she's waiting on the steps and walks out.
Yep.
And then they bike up and you see it very slowly dawns on you that there's like this black car sitting in front of the apartment. Yeah.
So Keiko tells him that their father's dementia has worsened, right? And asks whether Hirayama will visit him in the nursing home where he lives. She says that he does not recognize anything anymore and he will not behave the way he did before.
Which is such a dark line to lay on us, right? Like, or just to kind of have a casual conversation where it's like, oh, don't worry, he's not going to behave like he did before. And it's like,
right.
What the fuck does that mean? Like,
probably doesn't mean he was a loving father that was perfectly normal, right?
Yeah, so
Or
Wenders
something
said in those extras that in the backstory that he made the biography for Hirayama, that the father used to always favor the daughter. And so Hirayama was always pushed aside and they had a terrible relationship. So he had that going on, what caused his sort of, I don't want to say like breakdown, but I guess deciding to change his life. So yeah, the thing with his father, but there was also he had an estranged wife. Something happened with them. He was hating his job. So all these things kind of compiled until he reached that breaking point, as Forrest said earlier.
Which, I mean, you like, especially with the Japanese kind of culture and like the familial relationship between kind of parent and child, where it's like a relationship of respect, like very based on that. Like I feel like there's also the thing where it's like you're expected to go into that same family business if your father is a businessman. So it's like it's this rebellion. I feel like this almost teenage rebellion, because that I like, in my mind at least, that's why he had like almost like a smirk on his face when she's like, "Oh, you clean toilets," because he's realized he's reached this point of like happiness, enlightenment. He's much happier. She's clearly kind of miserable. She's like kind of the worst, and it's like he almost has this mischievous kind of impish little smile on his face where it's like, that's like I've done it. I've changed myself to that point.
Well, he even says to the niece, he's like, your mother and I just have completely different ways of looking at things. He says something
and
like
there's like he says something like, I feel like this world is made up of all these different, or this universe is made up of all these different worlds, and some of them intersect, some of them don't. And I love that. He's like, so like, there's such, when he does open his mouth, there's such wisdom behind everything that he says.
Absolutely, and it's heartbreaking, but it's played so well. So Hirayama sorrowfully refuses, but hugs his sister goodbye. And before she leaves, she asks him whether he really cleans toilets for a living, as mentioned. He says yes, but without shame, right? And then they drive away, and Hirayama begins to cry inconsolably.
One line I wanted to point out, which I did briefly in the intro, but so there's the book, the Terrapin, right, which is the Patricia Highsmith book, the short story.
Yeah.
And that short story is about a little boy who has this very overbearing, kind of abusive single mother, who kind of continuously like beats him and like treats him like shit. And he there's this turtle that Terrapin, which is like a turtle that he has, and he decides like he has as a pet, and he gets attached to it, but it's supposed to go into the turtle soup that the family is making. And at the end of the book, he really wants to show this turtle to everyone, because the kids are like really mean to him. They beat him up, but he thinks everyone will be impressed by this cool turtle. And she throws the turtle into the soup, and he thinks that the turtle is screaming as the turtle is killed by boiling water. And that night he goes into the mother's room and cuts her up into little pieces and just butchers her the way she butchered like the turtle. And there's the line where Nico says, I'm gonna be Victor if I have to go home, which means I'm gonna cut my mom.
Right, which is such a subtle kind of the source material kind of thing.
Yeah.
Also, another fun thing about Hirayama purchasing the Patricia Highsmith novel, Wim Wenders directed The American Friend, which is an adaptation of Ripley's Game. So the Ripley books, which is funny because I finally watched that for the first time last year with Dennis Hopper as Tom Ripley, by the way, and Bruno Gantz is in it. It's like one of his first roles. I think we talked about it briefly in the show for some reason. I can't remember why.
Well, I had it in the intro.
That's right. But I think we talked about it in another episode.
Because, Patricia Highsmith wrote what's we covered.
It was a different. Yeah, something we covered, right? I don't remember what it was, but we talked about it a little bit then, and I talked about how interesting it was to see that.
We talked about it. We talked about it a bunch. It was Carol. When we talked about Carol.
Carol, that's right. Yeah. Okay.
Oh, Carol.
So it's funny that him purchasing 11 by Patricia Highsmith, Wim Wenders. Highsmith, Wim Wenders adapted that from Ripley's Game. Right?
Yeah,
that's the banal minutia I was trying to ineptly get out. I think that's kind of cool, though. I think that's kind of like a neat. That's the kind of self-reference I don't mind for sure. The next day, Takashi quits without giving notice. That's a real mean move to your coworker, by the way. Leaving Hirayama to cover his shift. It's the by the way, this is
lent him all the money in his wallet.
Yeah.
And this is probably the closest we ever see Hirayama to getting upset.
Yeah, when he calls his boss at the end.
Yep.
And they're like, "Well, you're just gonna have to do it. You're gonna have to do all the toilets today, like all of them for your shift."
Yeah. And it takes
But
like,
I like how
twice
firm he was. He was like, I did this for you today. Find somebody tomorrow. And he hangs up.
I wondered if the movie was going to end with him quitting, like being like, fuck this. But I'm glad it didn't.
Yeah, that would be a little bit lesser, I think.
It's like that, but that's like the resolution he comes to is like, I don't clean toilet. I don't. He's like, he's go get your shine box. It's like that. I guess you hadn't heard. I don't clean toilets no more. And he's like,
well, but it also goes to show that this, it goes to show that this existence with this job that he's like found this serenity and peace with is a very easy apple cart to upset. All you gotta do is lose one guy and then suddenly this is intolerable. You're getting a ticket because you're double parked and you have to like talk to the cop about it.
Oh yeah, she asks like, are you new?
Yeah. It's hilarious. Like, and that's the kind of thing again that's a bunch of mediocre misery that would be really laid into in a lesser movie, but it's done as a counterpoint here in such a way that I think it's very effective without being overbearing.
Mm-hmm. That was one thing I really, really focused on with this rewatch was the interruptions, like all of the interruptions with the film. So like the lost child, the niece arriving, the thing with the sister, the double shift, all these different things, like they all just show that Hirayama's piece isn't something that's constantly protected. It's not set in stone, right? It's something that he's constantly having to kind of pull himself back into and find that sense of peace again. So I thought that was an interesting thing to kind of focus on and see how does he handle these tricky situations and how does he bring himself back to that state of peace?
Because it's not always the same way. It's not not always the same solution. It's not always the same problem.
Mm-hmm. Like the double shift day, he misses out on his bathhouse. He misses out on his dinner. He has to eat those old noodles at home. Remember, he like opens up the instant noodles and he smells them to see if they're fine. So even after a day like that, he still manages to get in bed, read his book, fall asleep, and then the next morning it's just wiping that slate clean again.
Right. And it shows how he deals with adversity, because instead of like again getting upset, beyond just being very plain spoken of not gonna happen again, this would be something that would be it could be like a falling down moment for a different character, right? Like definitely like a complete freak out that would be warranted and justified, because when you're in a situation where you're a service worker like that, if you quit suddenly, you're not screwing over your boss, you're screwing over your coworkers.
Yeah.
And that's, I think, something that people like maybe don't think about. If you're someone that's like Takashi and is like just younger and kind of like, I don't know, a lot of stuff hasn't been figured out yet, haven't lived that much life, maybe you wouldn't be thinking about that. But
I like. You gotta. I mean, you're obviously, this is reading into it because like now we kind of know this backstory, but it's like you have to wonder. He's very patient with these people, like these kids in the younger generation around him, and it's like I'm sure he was a fucking mess at that age.
Mm-hmm.
Sure, right. There's a deep empathy for it because of that, and because, and again, it's interesting that we only see. It's like trying to get a picture of something by only seeing the things around it, like the impressions that it made, and that's like what the entire movie is. Like, you're trying to get like like what kind, what is the depth of his character? Well, it's almost like what's not there, more than anything else. Thank you. Later, as Hirayama goes to his usual restaurant, he sees the female proprietor, who he has a crush on, embracing a man. Bummer for our dude.
And it's the only like they're kind of flirty back and forth, which he doesn't even have to say very much for it to be like that. Like his kind of back and forth with her, which she clearly like kind of likes him too, and like is very Hirayama just got here, like
the extra potato salad.
Yeah, exactly. Extra potato salad. That's right. I forgot about that. Yeah.
But it's clear it's the only time he shows any interest in like a woman that's in any capacity. Really, it's like
he hurries off, buying cigarettes and 3 bottled highballs to consume at a nearby riverbank.
I mean, that's how you get over something.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And he hasn't smoked in a while. It's implied.
Yeah,
By the way, he, like,
that's true.
Coughs up a lung.
Yeah. It's clearly not coming off like an expert smoker in any way, shape, or form. The man Hirayama saw the restaurant approaches and asks him for a cigarette, telling him that the restaurant proprietor is his ex-wife, whom he had not seen in 7 years, and that she opened the restaurant the year after divorcing him.
Hey, you gotta do what you gotta do.
Boss. Hashtag girl boss, though.
Yes.
He says he visited her to make peace before he dies of cancer, telling Hirayama to look after her.
Oh.
Hirayama lightens the mood, thank you, by offering him a drink and inviting him to play shadow tag, which rules. And it has that great line about the shadows. Do you think they're darker? Like,
Yeah.
They have 2 shadows.
They first test it out.
Well, and he's like, well, let's find out. And then the guys look at him like, what the fuck do you mean? Let's find out. He walks over, right, you stand here in
Where
front
the
of
fun
me.
begins.
Yeah, and but it's like there's this because the position that they're in, he's leaning over and the guy's in front of him. And he's like, what the fuck? He's very
we doing
confused in that moment.
My favorite thing is he tells him when he's like trying to figure out if the shadow's darker, the guy, the ex-husband or whatever, he's like, you seem really into this.
Yeah.
Kiriyama's like focused.
But he's like he builds it up to this point, and then he's like, I guess it doesn't matter when the 2 shadows are up. Like he builds up to this point of wisdom, but the guy the whole time was like, huh? Like,
Well, but they said like at the end of it, always, I get nothing's changing after all. That's just nonsense. And the businessman's like, yeah, I agree with that. Like, you probably needed to tag that, dude. But okay,
Yeah.
But it's such a great sequence because they do shadow tag for a while too, which is just so great. Like you get to see these 2 people that like, be kid-like almost, and like you see how like his spirit can like rub off on. Like, someone that literally has no reason to be party time at all.
You see him throughout the entire thing being kid-like, but by himself. And it's the one time he opens up and he like allows himself to be around another grown man or woman, but a grown man doing something like that. And it's like the whole movie you've seen him, he thinks it's funny that the kid pulled his ear, he's playing with his ear, and like he's like he has this like gleeful. I really love just this thing where he's like,
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
that face in the car. Like there's these moments, but it's always by himself, and he's so reserved when he's out with people.
Because he's very private in his way, right? Like in his practices and how he lives his life. It's a very private life, and not in a bad way, just like in a way that just that's naturally the life that he's chosen to live. So you get to really see the sort of ecstatic peace that he brings to people when he does interact with people.
As it probably,
a guy he doesn't even freaking know. A guy he, by all accounts, should not
Yeah.
even like because he thinks that, like
a lot like him.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
But the way that the sister responds to his the life that he's chosen for himself, you do understand why he's decided to live this way, but privately. It's like the people around him are not going, or the people that he knew growing up, or that were around him at the time, are not going to understand the life that he's chosen. So it's like, well, keep it reserved.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of which, the following morning, Hirayama begins another work week. As he drives his van to listen to Nina Simone sing "Feeling Good," a range of powerful emotions wash over his face.
Me too.
I'm feeling
So, rightly, and I mentioned this in the chat, right? Mia Goth gets a lot of praise for the incredible work she does in the end of Pearl, where the credits roll over and you get just to see just nothing but like her facial expressions, like again, micro expressions change, and it's like very powerful and good. But for my money, what he does and the range of emotion you see him go through in this. And again, while sort of not really having that the rest of the movie, like it's incredibly powerful. Like it's very, it's intense too. And it's something where it's like, oh, wow. And that's how it ends. Because you've had this very, quiet and serene for the most part movie. And then you have it sort of like, here's all the deferred
This end.
emotionality to it.
Mhm.
And he's so good. And that, frankly, is why you know that like he's such a great actor, because not everybody can do that, especially if you have a lot of Botox.
You also have.
Can't you tell I was sick, Conan?
Yeah, exactly. This is my upset voice.
You have an entire range of like life from beginning to end, because at the beginning he's watching these seedlings, and he takes the seedlings out of the ground, and it's like birth. It's like renewal kind of. And at the end he faces death, in the form of this guy that's telling him about how he's going to die of cancer really soon. And then it kind of reverts back to the beginning of life again. And it's like you've seen the entire cycle kind of go by on this guy's work week.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It just feels like catharsis for him, because, I mean, he deals with so much that week as well that he just kind of has to keep it together for. I mean, he sees his sister. He finds out his dad isn't doing well. He makes the decision to not visit his dad. He hangs out with this man that's dying. Like there's so much that happens where he just keeps it together. And I think that moment where he's listening to that song at the end, that's just him just like letting go, not in a negative way, not in a positive way, just expressing like the full spectrum of emotions that have been kind of withheld thus far.
Yeah, kind of all at once, right? And you see it flow over him in a way that, again, it's props to Kōji Yakusho, because like it's incredible. Like it's such incredible work. And I say that as, like I think people like overdo it all the time. Like I can't wait to see this remake of Possession, and like the redo of Isabella Johnny's momentous scene. By the way, that's sarcasm. I don't want to see that. They shouldn't make it. I don't care who's doing it. But
what?
Yeah, exactly. Remake Possession. What? They would never do such a thing.
I wonder who's responsible for it becoming so popular again in recent years. Couldn't be this podcast, right? The timing.
Well, we contributed, but it's not our fault.
Yeah, exactly. We didn't specifically say not to, I guess. By the way, what a friend of the show, Aaron from Hit Factory, made a joke about somebody remaking On the Silver Globe. That was like, I was like, that's jokes like made for me, basically, and Marta. But
I predicted it last year on my podcast. I said in 5 years' time. 5 years time. 4 more to go.
Right now, it's still a joke, but hey, so was fuck everything we're doing 5 blades, and they do have a 5-bladed razor now, and that was an Onion article in 2003. Fuck everything we're doing 5 blades.
Yay. What a world!
Anyway, last scene of this incredible, and again, such great usage of music with the visuals. I mean, it's a powerful indie, and in a way that's like when you think of like quote unquote quiet cinema. Right, this hits the marks a lot, but it does different things, and I think it's something that doesn't have to be as uniform a genre as it is made out to be sometimes, and I think that's interesting to me, because this is like whatever. I don't know if I did 4.5 or 5. I'd have to look to see, but like I love this movie. It's great, and again, partially because I had zero expectations of any kind. Again, remember how it was sold to me? Oh yeah, Wim Wenders made a movie about some toilets in Japan. Okay.
Did I say that to you? Was that us?
No, this is somebody far less eloquent. But and you know what? It might have been seen one of your reviews that actually was like, all right, I'll watch this then. But I was also like, Wim Wenders, it's like he's like Iggy Pop. He can make as many bad movies as he wants to. He's still always going to be Wim Wenders, right? Same way, Iggy Pop made Butttown, but he's still Iggy Pop. He's cool for forever. You have a lifetime pass. He made Paris, Texas. He made Until the End of the World. He made Wings of Desire. Whatever. Doesn't matter. Like, well, we'll look the other way. It's fine.
The thing that I really liked with listening to those extras, so with Wenders and with Kōji Yakusho, he was saying how he was describing Ozu's cinema, and he's like, when I was younger, I didn't really like it. I can't remember what he says exactly, but he like brushed it off, and he's like, as I got older, I understood the power of Ozu's filmography, and he says how he's always wanted to be in an Ozu-esque movie. Like that's the sort of cinema that he wants to do. So although he doesn't say it outright, it really feels like this role as Hirayama meant a lot to him.
Well, and again, like let's look at the other things that he's done, right? Like he's been kind of
Very
almost
different.
like, like to a certain degree of like the Japanese equivalent, like the leading man kind of thing, right? Because again, think of the samurai movie and like how it how it sits in Japanese culture versus, you know, how it sits for like the rest of the world. And he's like, even in Cure, right? Like he's like the detective.
Procedurals,
He's like, you know, the dark and gritty. I mean, basically, you know, Seven owes a lot to Cure, and that's a whole separate conversation in and of itself. But it's, again, it seems like a role of a lifetime for him. And I will say, as someone that, you know, frankly speaking, older than the rest of the panel, does hit a little different. Older you get. It really does.
Yep. This time, so this was, what did I say, 5th time watching it. I cried more than ever. Like sobbing. Like I was right there with Hirayama, also crying, also smiling, also not really knowing what was going on
or
with
what
me.
was happening. Right?
But I felt
Right,
great
right.
after. Like I felt
Yeah.
awesome. So this is going to be now in my rotation for when I'm feeling not great.
So, Marta, I think you're onto something. There's a very deep catharsis to it that I think a lot of slow cinema lacks any kind of catharsis, frankly. You know, John Dielman, hey, she made the roast. Great, you know. It took 3 hours to get there, but she made it.
Which I think that I like, as I said with the earlier.
Don't at me about John Dielman, by the way. Thank you. It's a joke.
With the like an American version of this, or even like a European version of this, would have to resolve it, and it would have to push to resolve it in a way that's not this amount of catharsis where it's just the face that you see at the end. It would have to be like, you know, like there would be some kind of, I quit the job, or
not something ambiguous of an ending. We need something like settled.
Or even his niece shows up and like, I want to be like you. Let's hang out or something.
Or you see him
passing the torch or whatever, you know.
To see him
Daniel-san.
his dad one last time. He, like, you know, or something, like he sees his dad one more time.
Oh,
before
yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
and that's go ahead. No, please.
No, I was just going to say that's what I love about this film is that just so much is implied. There's just so many things that are just like pay attention to it. It doesn't have to be said, right? It just feels like that's the entire film.
Well, that's the Wim Wenders of it all, right? Where it's like, you know, you wouldn't. You know, everything popular gets an American version. Boy, ain't that the truth. remember we did another round and we heard that they were going to make an American version, which luckily they still haven't. Where it's like, you can't make an American version of another.
Yeah, wasn't
round.
that like 3 years ago too?
Yeah,
like, what happened? Did they finally realize it was a bad idea?
Hopefully, but I hope they never.
Our
did.
relationship in America to alcohol is far too, just kind of
wouldn't work.
Like binging and purging. Like our relationship is far too mercurial, I guess, for that movie to work.
Yeah, we don't do it for fun. We do because we're sad and depressed. But we say it's for fun, and then we FaceTime our family at like 1 o'clock in the morning, hammered and talking about childhood trauma that should have been resolved in therapy. I get it, sis. Leave me alone.
Sounds very specific, but okay, I'm with you.
It is very specific. It happens a lot.
Okay, but in that same way,
no?
Yeah, to people, unnamed people that are not on the screen right now. The version of this that the American wouldn't work because again, this is Japan's a culture of respect, right? And like it's frankly kind of amazing that it works as well as it does for the movie that it is. And
we would have people like spitting at the guy as he cleans the toilet and stuff. Like,
right, it would be too overblown. Yeah,
we're too disgusting as a culture to actually take cleanliness like seriously. It's like when people were surprised that people over in Asia do wear masks, like not just during COVID. I'm like, yeah. That's or take off your shoes. I mean, there's nothing wrong with those things. You know why? Because look how clean it looks over there compared to here. Okay.
So the combination of, you know, the Japanese nature of it with Wim Wenders, or Win Wenders, as I called him on Instagram stories today, because all he does is win. Jesus, guy, one of my favorite directors, and I didn't even spell check. But anyway, so when you think of the Ozu-ness of it all, right? Like, you know, the master of Japanese cinema, influenced so many, you know, Claire Denis. The only person I could think of that actually is a Japanese director at work would be Koreeda, really. And even then, you're talking about a totally different kind of movie because you need the artsiness of Wim Wenders with like sort of like the deep humanity. Again, I hope that he makes more things like this because I think that this was touching in a way that I have not been touched by anything that he's done recently. Granted, it's mostly been like documentaries and stuff, but like I just feel like it reminded me of what I really loved about him and what really kind of like, again, as one of the first art house directors I really got into, and that's great because again, he's, you know, dude's getting on in years. Like he's no spring chicken, right?
Herzog, they're all, but they're still kicking. They're all, getting up there. It's like, damn, dude.
Yeah. Well, I would put Perfect Days, not to spill my hand or anything, but I'd put that amongst one of my favorite Wim Wenders movies, at least top 5.
Me
top
too.
3.
And probably
It's
also
been
like
my
top
favorite
2020s films too, probably.
I saw this literally the day after I made my tops whatever year it came out. I was like, God damn it.
You got the decade, Conan, so don't worry.
Yeah, exactly. I can make it up for
Top
the decade.
2020s,
But I
go.
didn't just make it. I had posted it. I'm like, I'm not taking all that down. There's no way. But it's so good, and it works on so many levels, and I think it is
10 out of 10 for sure.
Stop saying that.
Indeed. Speaking of which, Letterboxd is a film site, social media site for film lovers talk at with and to each other about the films they love, maybe the films that they didn't love, maybe the films that they just repeatedly say what their favorite needle drop is. By the way, is a needle drop if it's on cassette? I don't know. We're going to get our top research.
Also, is it a needle drop if it actually like serves the plot's purpose? Because I feel like we're misusing that term now. I don't know.
Once again, we'll get our top researchers on that. And of course, all of this is best expressed succinctly. Bottom-up democracy. Everyone gets to have their say. Not just Siskel's and Ebers of the world. Everyone gets to chime and opine about the movies. And that is what this bit is. Where weekly, yours truly collects the favorite brief reviews of the movie in question we're discussing. And we put them on screen for Forrest and the panel to react to. That's what this is. These are the Letterboxd one-liners for Perfect Days. Let's roll them. The thing that Karl Marx could never understand is the bliss of putting on the perfect song will drive you to a wage labor job.
This is why I hate
That was
fucking
good.
ultra leftists on Facebook meme groups. They don't understand.
You gotta get Hirayama on it. By the way, needle drop, exact definition: pre-existing popular song in a film or television show, rather than original score to create a specific emotional or atmospheric effect. So it is exactly a needle drop. Yeah.
Even though there's again,
Even though
it's a vinyl term.
But
how many
like,
movies? In how many
there are
movies?
that overuse like song for like every freaking little moment?
Yeah,
It's like
too
that
much.
is not a needle drop. That goes that's just
Which
annoying.
this does it perfectly because it's only when he's in the car and he's not needle dropping, he's cassette drop.
Yes.
I'm so glad you said that because you reminded me that everything in this movie is diegetic.
Yeah.
Every piece of music that's in here is completely diegetic, meaning that it happens only within the mechanisms of the things that you see on screen or that are on screen at the time.
Surprised we didn't mention that. None of us.
I know.
Guys.
Especially me of all people.
What are we doing?
This is movie night diegetic, the top diegetic movie.
Forrest's
Movie night
intro was just
diegetic.
too good. We
Can't
all
tell ya.
decided
Can't
to
tell
not
ya.
get-
That podcast would kill.
Yeah.
That would that because that's so niche because that's what you have to do now. It has to be like the nichiest niche that ever niche.
Yeah, is this film diegetic or non-diegetic? Ooh.
I mean,
we should have a month about that.
I've said this before. I probably would have tried to figure out a more niche thing if I had been like at the time. I was just like, oh, this is only gonna last the summer. I'm just trying to do just trying to find a way to watch.
Forrest, I hate to tell you, but you were wrong.
I was very wrong.
For almost 5 years later, however long.
Yeah,
it's been. Yeah.
I was just like, yo, I got fired, like laid off from work, and I was just trying to start like something that I could keep watching movies and like have fun with it. And then it's like it's literally
And then
5
you got
years
Adam
later.
McKay on, you got Jerry Casale on, Alex.
And every
Crown, Michael Wiggin.
every few months I'm
Marta
like
Djordjevic.
every few months I'm like fuck it, I'm done, and then I'm like, all right, I'm back. We gotta get
You're like
Just
the
when I
meme
thought I was
star.
out, they pulled me back in.
Back in.
all right, let's do it.
I would love to browse Lou Reed music at the Spotify store with Hirayama.
Oh, that's such a good line when he's like, do you think I can get that on Spotify? And he's
Yeah.
like, oh, where is that store?
Yeah, I don't know that store.
Right next to Apple.
Exactly. That's good, man. There are two wolves inside of you. One wants to binge watch all of the John Wick movies. The other wants to watch the quiet Japanese Wim Wenders movie.
Yeah. They're very similar, believe it or not, very similar movies. You just got to pick which one you feel.
Hirayama just one dead dog away from fuck it. I'm done with my piece. Well, John Wick at the beginning of John Wick, he's kind of done the Hirayama. He's living on his own. He's out of the game, and it's the dead dog that pulls him back in.
That's true.
For Hirayama, it would be his plants.
Yeah.
Oh my God! Yeah, he would be a plant-based John Wick. Yeah.
On all of his plants.
They came for his plants. It was too far.
It's like one guy's like there's an almond guy, a cashew guy. They're all plant based.
But what if they came for his cassettes instead?
Oh yeah, cassette-based revenge. Sure.
his main enemy in the first one, because his main enemy is obviously his boss, but it's not his boss. It's Takashi. Whenever he's like, he steals his tapes, and he's like, Takashi, bring me back my tapes. 10 out of 10 for sure. How many tapes did you steal? 10 out of 10.
10 out of 10. Exactly. Only movie we're skipping therapy for.
It is therapy.
I mean, I'm going to therapy every week now, but still, this movie's also just as good.
You could watch this movie every week instead.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's what I'm saying. You guys need to get on this release, the Criterion release.
Yeah.
I must have just missed that. I don't know.
I remember, but it was the Criterion release was before I had seen it, so I think that's why I didn't register.
Well, yeah, you might have heard about it from me, and I found out about it pretty late. So, I mean,
yeah. Well, I heard about it. My brother saw it. I think that's the first time my brother saw it in theaters.
All right.
And was like, "Oh, have you seen Perfect Days? I loved it." But at the time, I just hadn't, I didn't get around to it because I don't know.
Spent the whole film thinking about how I should be more like Hirayama, knowing damn well I'm just Takashi. I just know Takashi would love Letterboxd ratings as much as I do.
5 out of 5 for sure.
That was good.
I like the line where Takashi says, "This guy is 9 out of 10 on the weirdness scale."
Yeah.
It's so good.
He's like he's talking shit about Hirayama to like impress the girl.
Yep.
That's why she didn't stay with him.
Made me want to put my phone away and go look at trees. Oh,
Yeah.
It's true.
That's not funny. It's just correct.
10 out of 10 on the going looking at trees scale.
Yeah.
10 out of 10 trees.
I'll never play Shadow Tag the same way again.
No.
I don't think I've played
very
Shadow Tag
sweet,
in a really long time.
Yeah, these are sometimes Forrest will be like, "That's gonna be a tough one, huh?" And I'll be like, "Yeah," or "No." But this one, it was fine. This is not hard, but it was more tended towards the sweeter side of it.
Yeah.
4 out of 10 on the Letterboxd scale.
10 out of 10.
Some of them are a brutal slog. I question my life decisions every time. But bro seriously woke up at the same time every day without setting an alarm. The sheer willpower.
I was
That's
thinking
like my
about
mom.
that this watch.
My mom does that. She
I
like
used to
naturally
do
just
that.
wakes up. Yeah.
Some days he even woke up early, like when his niece is there, when Nico's
Yeah,
there,
the
he
first
wakes up
time.
early and he goes upstairs.
That is not me ever.
And he has that other morning where he wakes up a bit early to finish his reading a page.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I like
naturally,
it.
too.
He's a perfect sleeper, and then Nico's like the lightest sleeper ever. He's like trying to creep around her to go to like, Uncle.
Yeah.
I'm already awake. Let's do stuff. Just like Takashi says, this movie is like a 10 out of 10.
Hey, there
Doing this ends on a high note, right?
I love the idea of Takashi as like a film critic though. This movie's
really rating.
He's like this movie's weird. 9 out of 10 on the weirdness scale, right?
Yeah, if you're one of those people that has their read their letterbox and they like individually rate plot, 5 out of 5.
Yeah.
Vibes, 4 out of 5.
9.785. Like
his bio is like, my name's Takashi and I like ratings with like a smiling face.
Well, yeah, and has like my personal rating scale. 5 equals best movie ever. 4.5. Okay, yeah, we get it. We know how ratings work. Thank you.
Yeah.
Hirayama is the ideal man. Doesn't talk, knows how to clean, fire music taste.
That sounds like me.
yeah.
I'm working.
Yeah, there you go.
And you can also clean toilet.
Yeah, I know. I do it.
Call him up.
Instead of
a fictional character, other than that.
I heard you like horses.
You know what? Let's do the American version.
I heard you ride horses or whatever. I heard you clean toilets.
Yeah.
Wow, that was a long way to go for that. Okay.
Yeah.
Those are the Letterboxd one-liners for Perfect Days. Please follow the show on our Letterboxd HQ account at Movie Night Extra, where we have the attendant short-form content and long-form write-ups and things of all the episodes that we cover on this very show. Follow us at Movie Night Extra. The Hirayama cassette collection, I'd always flock over there. That's your host. He's logging things from this show and so much more. And you can follow him and see. I haven't looked at your letterbox in forever, so I have no idea what you're up to.
It's lit, like,
Sorry.
There's like nothing in April, right? Like
There's a bunch of Italian movies in a row.
Nice.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah. Bellissimo. Okay, I'm at Conan Neutron. Next time is next time. Now is now. You can follow me. Letterbox, Highbrow, the Midbrow, Populsphere, all that stuff. Criterion Challenge. I am still at par because I kind of front loaded before going to tour, so I'm doing all right. Follow me along for that, as well as for anything else. You can engage with me at Conan Neutron. Your favorite cleaning lady, Kristina, down there. She is most qualified to speak on this movie, I would say, than any of us. But you can follow her on Letterboxd for non-cleaning related duties, as well as any movies that she happens to be watching. Again, I haven't looked at Letterboxd in like forever, so I have no idea.
I was kind of I logged in Brian's song because again I'm watching the like I Love series from VH1 on YouTube because there's a whole YouTube channel that has like all the playlists. So I've been kind of like watching some of like the movies that they talk about, like Porky's, and I should really log that one in. People are like, oh my god, like films were so prim and proper back then. I'm like, excuse me?
Yeah.
Have you seen Porky's?
Porky's is like American Pie for the 80s. Are you
if you did Perfect Days and then Porky's like right at one after each other, I would laugh.
Well, I mean, they both have people looking at other people through in the bathroom, I guess.
Yeah.
That's enough. Right, at Marta McFly is now our friend Marta Djordjevic there, who is
nice.
She is one of my favorite Letterboxd follows. Absolutely follow Marta McFly, friend of the show. We love having her on. Please, Forrest, let's hit it with the plugs. Please.
If you're watching us on YouTube, please like and subscribe, and then hit the bell to get notified whenever we're streaming. And we'd humbly request that you watch the video to the end because it helps us with the algorithm and helps more film fans to discover the show. We're also monetized. If you want to get your chat questions definitely read on stream, you can always send us a super chat, which will help us keep the show going. Every cent helps. If you're watching on Twitch, you can gift us a free sub on Amazon Prime with your Prime membership, but getting subs on Twitch is always appreciated, and it helps to follow us on there as well. We also have an audio feed, which is available wherever you download podcasts, if you prefer to listen to podcasts rather than watch the stream. That's updated usually the same day we stream, but watching on YouTube and Twitch is the best way to get the show first, live as it happens. If you want to support us with a monthly donation and get access to all of our after parties forever, which go patron only after we do them, you can become a patron at patreon.com/movie night extra. Link is in the description for that. It really helps us keep the show going since we do have some expenses to make this happen. We also have a Discord community. Link is in the description for that. We sometimes watch movies we cover on there. We get into conversations about everything from film to TV shows to related podcasts. We even have a Discord channel for memes. It's really fun on there. You can find us on all the social media platforms: Facebook, Instagram, Blue Sky, Twitter, and Threads. You connect with us on all of those. Talk to us. We'd love to hear from you. Lastly, we recently made a TikTok at Movie Night Extra where we're putting up short-form clips from the episodes. Okay, passing this to Conan so he can tell you about his music and this week's Protonic Reversal. Conan, who's on Protonic this week?
That's right. I got Nathan Carson of Point Lane Plane and Nanochair Booking coming on. Great dude. I have not done a Protonic Reversal in 48 days. I just checked the calendar. So it's a first one back after a while. Should be solid. Of course, ProtonicReversal.com for the archives, patreon.com/ProtonicReversal, $1 a month advance access. Bunch of cool stuff coming up on the Protonic world because I'm back for a while. So go check that out on all the places that you find the podcast, et cetera, et cetera. Secret Friends, of course, back from tour with Red Cross. We were gone for a while. That took us to Cozumel, Mexico and back, and all along the I-10, Florida, even more exotic locales. And we have some stuff coming up as well. There's a June tour just announced that's Youngstown, Baltimore, Brooklyn, East Hampton, and Boston. Last two with Miracle Blood. Should be good. The background for that is a pyramid at Epcot Center. On the three caballeros, I think his name is, like the three birds, right? And it makes it look like that, like, oh, it's so fast. You must have been going so fast. No, it's just out of focus. It's just an out of focus pyramid is all it is. I was like, oh,
it looks
cool.
really good though. Like it looks like you took so much time to edit.
Yeah.
Looks fast.
It just came out
accident.
That way. It was really Hirayama sort of situation.
It was just born this way.
So that's what. Yeah, we got some East Coast stuff at the end of June. There's going to be a West Coast tour that's putting the final touches on as well, coming up in late August. Yeah, Seattle's going to be the closest to you, Marta. But I understand that's not close enough. But crossing the border right now is fairly fraught, as one might imagine.
Same.
Yeah, so I get it. We're not doing it either, as much as I would like to. So I'll have more details about that coming up. Of course, neutronfriends.bandcamp.com. I should have brought some of the shopping bags down. Oh, did I bring them? Oh, I did. Did I do this last week? Maybe I did. I can't remember. We got shopping bags.
Oh.
So here's one with the angry raccoon that says, "Who dares?" Here, solo me on this for us, would you?
Yeah, I got you.
I'm trying to move units, kid. So
There we go.
See, who dares, right?
Who dares? Nice.
Maybe have another one that is the classic "Death is coming, eat trash, be free" raccoons.
Ooh, also nice.
If you want to be styling and profiling at your local Whole Foods or whatever the heck it is you shop at, I don't know. Please check that out. Neutron Friends.
That second one reminds me of Pompoko.
Oh, sure. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, maybe I should market it too. Yeah. So we got, those have been selling. I shipped out a bunch of those early this week. We got them promptly just in time for tour to be over. Whereas, as I mentioned last week, all anyone was asking, it was like, hey, you have any shopping bags for these when they're buying records? I'm like, no, we don't.
Yeah. That's why people bring boxes. You know?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I get it. Like I've long wanted to have them as merch items.
Hey,
again,
buy more merchandise to put the merchandise in, so you make more money.
It would make sense, wouldn't it? So there you go. Caterwall in full swing. We're something like 38 days out, something along those lines. Friday is sold out. The 3-day passes, I think, are like 10 away from being sold out, but that's Minneapolis. See, I put it on screen, but I'd be afraid we go all Interstellar again. I'm scared by the technology. Maybe that's what I should do in the stream. But whatever. There's a lot of bands playing. It's cool. Caterwall.org for all that stuff. Come out if you're interested in that stuff / in the area or willing to travel for those types of bands. I still can't believe we got Rye Coalition playing. That's a huge deal for me. I'm amazed like Pitchfork Media hasn't picked up on that, but I don't know. What do I know? Nothing, I guess.
They probably laid off everyone who's just AI now.
Yeah, it's AI writing stuff now. You know what? That's probably closer to the truth than anyone would want to admit.
Oh, depressing.
Yikes.
They used to be on top of it.
They used to be? Yeah. I don't know. Not now. So that's what's going on in the world of Neutron. A couple months before we are out and doing anything more, but there's some cool stuff coming up in the fall that I can't wait to talk about. Buy some shopping bags. I've got plenty of them.
Buy some shopping bags.
I mean, you could have like a shopping bag that says Target on it, or you could have a shopping bag that says "Death is coming, eat trash, be free" with cute raccoons on it. Which would you pick? I know which one I'd pick.
I had a pet raccoon. Sort of, and a pet possum, and a pet outdoor cats. They all were friendly with each other and would cuddle and eat together.
This sounds like a cartoon show. This is like
it's a perfect cartoon show. They all got along. They all would snuggle in the bed we made together out on the back porch. It was adorable.
Yeah, it sounds like Saturday morning.
And Rocky the raccoon.
Yeah, called the Cosme Pals.
Well, you should get
the same.
Colin's grocery bag.
Exactly. Yeah, absolutely.
Remember your raccoon friends forever.
They are record sized for sure. That is something that would make very.
I put a bunch of stuff in them when I travel.
10 out of 10.
10 out of 10, exactly. Takashi's definitely rated some 10 out of 10 for sure. Kristina, what do you got coming up?
Well, I have officially reached 6,000 followers on Twitch. Woo!
Oh wow!
Yeah, I'm excited.
I've got like 6. I never use it. That's why.
5 years, guys, almost 5 years. And finally, anyway, I have been popping off on Twitter. Reached 10K followers on Twitter. Apparently, saying Hassan will do you numbers these days, and it's like, oh, Jesus Christ. Still streaming. We've been doing the like throwback I love series rewatch. It's been a lot of fun and seeing older folks be like, this stuff. I'm like, if you grew up in the early 2000s at a time where preserving classic like art and media was important, millennials are going to be the last generation to understand this shit. So that's right.
Well, and not understanding history is now the default.
Yeah, because you got this is my opinion is the younger cusp of Gen X and elder millennials are the ones having these kids who don't know anything because they're not bonding with their kids and showing them the shit that they grew up with. People with their takes are like, kids who were born in the 80s and 90s didn't watch old shit. Yeah, we did. We always did. What are you talking about? Shut up.
Yeah.
Anyway, streaming as always. Did my show today. Did a review on the Michael movie and why certain biopics hit, why others don't. Bruce
In the
Springsteen,
biopic industrial complex now.
Yes. So
no more.
Yeah, it should be interesting. Or let's just get creative. I mean, they're remaking La Bamba.
They won't.
The people,
they won't.
The people
they really
who made
won't.
La Bamba,
the Academy tweeted out.
Yeah, what do you want? I'm over here Papas and Papas. You can get that done in 2 hours.
Who would you like to see in a music biopic? And it's so you guys are so out of fucking ideas that you're asking for the first time ever. You're asking the audience what they want to see.
Yeah,
I mean, they're remaking La Bamba. I'm like, what's gonna be the ending? The coin toss ends on tails, and Richie doesn't get on the plane that he dies in. What we're supposed to add?
It'll be a prequel in the very end, he strums a guitar, and it's that's the end of the movie.
We really don't need to remake any good biopics pre, Ray and Aviator.
What we need to, if you're gonna make biopics, what you should make is some good biopics.
Rocket Man, the Elton John one was an actual musical where the songs of his catalog actually helped move the story. I'm like, yes, that's what I need. No recreations of.
I just need no more. I just need
whatever.
I want them to end.
Zero more. No more.
Just do miniseries.
I think people should make them under the threat of incarceration.
Just do miniseries instead. Don't put this on the big screen.
Yeah, put on something I don't care about and don't have to look at. Great.
Exactly. So been streaming.
Speaking of Paramount Plus.
Talking about that as well too.
The Michael Jackson movie, the second Michael, it's Timothy Chalamet as Michael Jackson.
I mean, a lot of people are mad that Michael Jackson impersonators who
Scarlett Johansson actually
to look like him are not playing him.
It's an
like,
yeah,
I understood the joke. Yeah, I want to talk.
You don't need to laugh at it. It's okay.
When we do the after party, I'm going to talk more about the Michael movie.
Are we doing one? I didn't know if we were.
If you want to do one, yeah,
why not?
We can.
Because I have thoughts as a fan, so it's
I can tell. I have thoughts of having to go to the bathroom, so we should finish the show up.
All right. Well, me and Kristina are doing our for the first time in over a month. We're doing Absurdity Space tomorrow at 6 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Central, 4 p.m. 4 p.m. Mountain Time, 3 p.m. Pacific. Okay, I did it.
See, one of those didn't end in a question, so that's good.
Yeah. Yeah.
Marta, what do you got for plugs?
Plugs. Yeah. It's pretty easy. I mean, you plugged my letterbox earlier. That's just Marta McFly. If you want to read essays, roundups, the occasional podcast episode, you can go to rewindandrevive.com. Also Rewind and Revive on Spotify, Apple, etc., etc., etc. That's kind of all I have. I'm working on a Takashi Miike essay right now on Agitator. So I've been watching a lot of Miike films, and they are very different to this. So
I think
all
that's
I have.
Fair. Dead or Alive, by the way. That's the one.
Dead. I just watched that the other day. It ends with the Dragon Ball Z almost.
Hey, remember that movie? That live action movie, Dragon Ball Z? Good movie.
There was some other scenes in that too. They're pretty evocative, right? That was we asked Ian Miller on. He's like, "I'm gonna do Dead or Alive." I'm like, "All right, fine."
I
hadn't seen it at the time, and I was like, "Oh my god, this is."
He's done so many adaptations, though. I think next I want to watch Ace Attorney. He did the adaptation for Ace Attorney.
Really?
Yeah. And the hairstyles look just like out of the game, the anime. Yeah.
I mean, look, I think 13 Assassins is great, and that's a remake.
Yeah.
I think it is. I think that's one of the better recent samurai movies. And I didn't see his Harakiri. I love the original so much I just haven't bothered with it. But he definitely has a love of genre cinema.
If you can hunt down Agitator, so there's the new Radiance release, but I think you can also watch the theatrical cut on YouTube.
Okay.
Try and watch it. It's incredible. It's, I think, the most restrained I've seen Miike, in a way that it almost feels like a Beat Takeshi film at times.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Huh.
At times.
At times. Sure.
At times. So, yeah.
I guess I'll do it. You got final thoughts on Perfect Days, Marta?
Me? I mean, I love it. 10 out of 10. I don't know. I think the one thing that I'll say that I really thought about during this watch is how the film, like the entirety of the film, feels like Komorebi itself. Like it's just such a perfect definition for the film. So yeah, I love it. It's beautiful. It's therapy. Praising it. Yeah.
Real easy rewatch. Like not because some of the rewatch stuff, I'm like, I don't know if I want to get into all that right now. And then it's like this one's like, oh yeah, this can be easy. It's like a warm bath. Are you kidding me?
Truly.
That's
The
awesome.
bathhouse.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, precisely. All right, Kristina, final thoughts on Perfect Days.
Perfect, quiet little movie, which is something that we need more of. It doesn't need to be big, bombastic, loud, even. Doesn't have to have too much dialogue. It could be simple, subtle, and very, very moving. So again, and also if you love, the clean toilets of Japan, highly recommend this movie.
Big fan. Clean toilets in Japan. Let's
Clean
go.
toilets in Japan.
10 out of 10.
I love them. I love them.
Oh, God.
Sean Penify that. Yeah.
You're just being weird now, Conan. Thanks.
I didn't write that scene. I just made a joke about it. All right. So yeah, Perfect Days, right? Beautiful, expressive film, deeply empathetic, contemplative, ethereal, hopeful, and yeah, I think Yakusho's doing like a career best thing here, and this guy who lives simply, jams sweet tunes on tape in his weird little cleaning van, and he takes pictures of cool stuff. Sounds good to me. I think that this is the sort of resting poignancy that Wim Wenders does is very well deployed here. But everything here is also very Japanese, which is interesting. Great diegetic sound for all this stuff. I'm mad that by the time I saw it, I had already done my year-end list. Again, I guess it's 2023, right? But it's great. It's a wonderful, tranquil, thoughtful movie, and we don't see lots of that. And then when we do, they're just painfully art house. And I say that as an art house fan. And I don't feel like that's what this is. I feel like this is a very easy movie to watch. And I hope more people check it out because I think it's well worth the watch and well worth the time. And yeah, best use of a Lou Reed song in a malapropised environment ever.
Yeah.
Frankly.
It's true.
It's a perfect day. The only song that I can really think of like constantly that's used of Lou Reed is everyone likes "Walking the Wild Side."
Yeah, which is great, but it's like he wrote other songs, right? Yeah,
and this has both Velvet Underground and a Lou Reed song too. Where it's like,
And my favorite Velvet Underground song is "Heroin."
I like Heroin too. I love me some Heroin.
It's great.
No, I actually really like that song, but I like Pale Blue Eyes.
Operation. Whoa!
I can't think of like other movies that have used Pale Blue Eyes. I feel like maybe there's one like that I've seen at some point, but
There must be.
Maybe we can save this for the after party that we are doing tonight.
All
What do we got next? Vertigo, right? We're doing Vertigo.
Yeah,
with
we're doing
Eileen?
Vertigo, and then we're having we're doing Charlie Varick with Josh Olson. But we're doing
Yeah,
Vertigo
welcome back.
on Monday, and then we're doing that one an hour.
Movie yet to be named with Adam McKay.
Yeah. But linger on your pale blue eye.